Parramatta, another team people are very high on. One of those teams that we look at because they finished fast the year before, and they won. They had some big wins. They beat Brisbane. They thumped the Roosters. I called that game. I remember that. There was another win of high. Oh, the Warriors away. In the last 7 games, they've knocked off all final teams: Brisbane, Warriors, Roosters. That's what's got people excited. Moses and Pezet is now the combination. It's a pretty solid-looking team. I'm not sure the hype, though, is justified.
Yeah, okay, and that's a fair call. Well, that's a fair call. I think what got everyone excited is that the improvement and the way they played, because they were in a bit of a dark place there for a while. What was their identity? What sort of style do they play? To start the season last year, if you remember, they were poor and the pressure was on Ryles after 2 or 3 weeks.
0-4 they started.
Yeah, so what's got everyone excited is you can see it unfolding, the influence of Jason Ryles. That they have an identity. Their defence improved out of sight as the season went on, but their attack evolved. They threw the ball around. They weren't afraid to play footy, and Moses, drifting across field, and they just played a style that was enjoyable to watch, and you could see a huge improvement in them. They're bouncing around. Even all reports out of them in the pre-season. Ryles I've got a huge rap on him, and I think that's why there's a lot of excitement. We don't know what's going to happen, but if they do continue on the trajectory that they were last year, it means that they probably will be in the 8 or on the edge of it.
Well, it feels like it all depends on Moses' availability.
Yeah.
He's missed 27 of the last 48 games. Their record when he plays is about 50% in those 2 years, and it's 25% when he's out. So I'm interested in the Moses-Jonah combo.
Yeah.
So how does this work? Does Jonah run the show and sort of Moses freewheels? Is Jonah's job kick to corners, steady the ship? I mean, Moses, it's worked with Cleary in Origin when Moses has sort of played that 5'8" role.
Yeah, well, I think that the good thing is that they, there's a bit of versatility there, but I think that Moses runs a team. I think Jonah would be more you'd think to play a bit of 5'8". Jonah's got a great kicking game, so he takes a bit of pressure off him. Then, Mitch has got the best kicking game in the comp as a 7. So, but it's still good to have 2 kickers that are very elite. Mitch's strength is his running game, so he can take the line on, but if he gets tackled, he knows he's got Jonah off the back of that. Jonah's more a 7 than a 6, but they're both big bodies too. Like Jonah's 6'2", he's still got to fill out. Is
he really that?
Yeah, he's tall. Jonah's tall. They're both tall. They're both quite big and great footwork and kicking game finesse, but they've also got the skill and there's a bit of a presence about them both. I mean, obviously Moses is Jonah's a kid. He's making his way. He's only going to get better. But I think it's going to be a really good combination. But Moses is the man. That's full stop. And I think that Jonah will play second fiddle, but he's happy to do so, and he can still have a huge impact.
I mean, there's no doubt Moses runs the team. I didn't mean to.
You mean on the ball more?
First receiver and
I think they'll
like Jamal Fogarty style is what I was thinking.
You'll see that they've both got great skill level, passing and left to right to left. I think they'll mix it up. I think they'll swing left to right, and I don't think they'll be just stuck on an edge. And that's what you want. That's what I would want in a team. It'd be unpredictable.
Here's a question. You have to get an answer because you've got to think about this. Is Moses to Parramatta? Is Moses the most important player to his team? So you think Turbo, Manly. Turbo, Manly. Obviously, when he's out, they're Gonski. Cleary they've got so much class around Cleary that they can win games without him. Yeah. Moses might be pretty close. He and Turbo might be 1 and 2. There's probably.
I'd even have Moses ahead of that now.
Yeah.
Because of the form of Mitch and the level that he's got to over the last few years, I'd have him ahead of that. And that's the challenge, right? Because if you want to win, you can't win comps that way. Yeah. Not in the modern day. I think Joey was pretty good back in the day with the Knights, but even then, the players that were around him were...
Ben Kennedy was all right.
There's a lot. Bedsy, the list goes on. So that's not really a good comparison. But, we've seen it with Hayne, and we've talked about it on 360s throughout the year. these guys that have these runs, as individuals more so than the team,
Yeah.
it doesn't win your comp. So that's what the challenge would be there at Parramatta, is that if he's out or if he's not man of the match, they still win.
Yeah.
That's their challenge, because that's what you need to win a comp.